it not good?
Okay, we are live now. Testing.
Testing.
We all good? Are we all good?
Are we?
Are we good?
Okay, we're gonna wait for a little while before we start the episode. Okay, Wendy, can you do me a favor and test your mic?
Test. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 3, 2, 1. Go shoot.
You can be a bit louder, I think.
Test.
Johan?
Test. 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
I think we're all good. Seems like, yep, I think we got the go ahead from Alex. And we are live. Welcome everyone to the inaugural episode of Hammer House Podcast. We haven't had gotten a name yet. We're just going to call it HammerCast for the time. Okay? Maybe the audience can help us out with a name in the future. But welcome everyone. This is the first episode, first ever Hammer House Podcast. Okay? My wonderful co-host here, Johan.
Yo.
And then of course we have our lovely guest, Wendy.
Hi.
Wendy, good morning.
Hi.
How are you doing this morning?
Good morning, y'alls. I'm feeling okay. I am constipated right now.
Constipated.
Life is a bit strange. But yes, hi. Nice to see you all this
Good
morning.
to see you as well. Wendy, could you tell us a little bit about yourself? Just what you do in general. And there's a lot of people here that's already chanting your name in the chat.
Really?
Yeah, they're just like, Wendy, I want to see.
Oh my gosh.
Somebody is like, I want to see Wendy yapping.
Yapping, yes.
You clearly have a lot of fans.
Thank you. No.
Maybe you can, for the rest of us who, like people like myself who don't fully understand it, maybe you can give us a brief introduction about yourself.
Okay, so basically I'm Wendy, also known as venti.rl on Instagram. So I'm just a Singaporean cosplayer, hobbyist, nothing too serious. I play Beyblade X as a hobby, and that's kind of what I'm here for today. And I'm going for an event later at AFA, so yeah.
Sweet. So you are also a cosplayer, right? I mean, that's what you'll be doing later at the
Yeah,
AFA.
oh my god, yes, I'm a cosplayer.
Okay. Fantastic. Okay, so we're gonna just dive straight into it. All right.
Yes,
we're just gonna
go.
go straight into the first topic of the day. Okay. And this one is, I mean, honestly, it was very shocking when I first heard about it. Okay. Suddenly, there's like a group of people, all of them just suddenly very excitedly talking about Beyblade. Just like, hang on a second, didn't I hear this Beyblade from like the
15 years
2000?
ago.
Yeah, from like 2000 something. I couldn't believe it when I heard it. A boomer dinosaur such as myself, I'm just, hang on a second, isn't Beyblade like done and gone? But no, oh my goodness, it just made this big resurgence under my nose. I didn't realize it was happening. Okay, make a big comeback.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
I mean, we didn't realize it also until we talk about table conquest. And it's like, oh, Beyblade is going table conquest.
Yeah.
What is Beyblade?
And then some more got tournament, everything, And then when people were talking about it, hey, got meta, got the Beyblade meta, got like different builds. Wendy, you gotta get us up to speed, okay? You are the Beyblade expert over here. You gotta get us up to speed.
Up to speed. Okay, so I'm a new gen considering all of the years that Beyblade has existed. But right now, this one is called Beyblade X. The X stands for the Extreme line, which is the new gimmick of this year's installment. So basically, it's much simpler than the ones that we know from before. This one in particular, anyone can join. The price is very good, and also it just comes in 3 parts. Like, would you like to see?
Yeah.
Okay.
We can't see it from here, so you have to bring it up.
All right. So, for example, we have this new one called Tyranno Beat, and it comes together with the blade, and then the ratchet, which is the plastic over here, and the bit, which is the customizable bit, like the way that it can move around the stadium. It's very cool.
So okay, the first thing, because I'm an avid gamer, okay, I love gaming, okay, I love to play around with builds, with different stuff, right? This is my bread and butter in gaming. I want to understand a little bit more about the different Beyblade builds, the different style you can build the Beyblade. Maybe you can elaborate a little bit more about that.
Yeah, sure. So, like, with every simple ones, there's always the stamina, the attack, and the defense, which I don't seem to have all of that right here, like the basic one. But for example, You can build according to your playstyle, and then also you can check out maybe from the shape of the blade. For example, if it's very sharp like this, it's probably an attack bay. And like so with the ratchets and such, they come in 60 to 80 heights, but then also with different
Wait, sorry, what does that mean? The 60 to 80?
60 to 80. Okay, so basically, you see the height of this thing. It's like this one, for
Is that
example.
in like millimeters or something? Is that what it means?
Millimeters? I'm not so sure actually. Like maybe I'll just call it that. Like when you eye it yourself, you can kind of see like the difference. Okay, it's very big, but you'll get to it. So this one is the 370. Yeah, it's a new one.
So just the height difference. So to make your Beyblade taller or shorter?
Yes, that's right. So this one in comparison,
I see it, yeah.
it's like taller.
It's quite a
bit.
quite a big difference.
Quite a big difference, yeah, definitely. And then even more so if you get the 80, but I don't have it.
So
right
the
here.
so taller Beyblades means what? Means attack better, is it? Like it can chong faster, and is that what it means?
Okay, so there's like this term that we coined in the community called down smash, and we always say that's not a real term.
not Hawk Smash, right?
Wait,
Not
Hawk Smash.
Whoa. This is
That's
a family.
copyrighted.
This is a family-friendly channel. Okay, we don't talk about down smash here. Okay, but yes, please go on.
No, don't think about that. You are in the gutter, man. All right, so down smash basically makes your bay taller, and so your opponent bay is probably gonna be shorter than you. And in that case, when it swings through the stadium, it can hit you from the top down and then destabilize the opponent.
Okay, so you are pushing your opponent's Beyblade down to
Yes.
force him to the ground.
Yes,
Okay.
basically. Some people love that stuff very much. So they can, right now with the new installments and everything, they can create an entire deck of down smash base.
Okay. So Meteor Storm from the chat wants to know whose meta deck is that? I think when you brought it up, they are very curious about why is something wrong with or is it like the Omega meta?
Omega. I wouldn't call it so honestly, but yeah, I mean you can consider this as a meta blade. It's the new Wizard Rod from the UX series, and people typically join it together with the 370 and the Hexa or something like that. Yeah.
So every part of the Beyblade serves a purpose.
Yes, that's
Wow.
every part. You see? This is the
I
flat.
heard of this term, right? When you guys were talking about it in the group, well, I think it was about 2 weeks ago. Something called weight maxing, like, and then the extreme ways, right, in which Beyblade players go to execute weight maxing. Could you just describe a little bit about that?
Okay, so the term weight maxing is inspired from the one that we know in TikTok slang called looks maxing. So basically where you maximize every single aspect in your get ready routine, in your face to be like the best looking. So when it comes to weight maxing, it really comes down to having a scale, a micro scale that you bring around, and then you put a bay on top and see if it's heavier, it's better, that kind of thing.
So it's like you have this weighing machine that you carry, and then because the individual packaging, you don't get to choose the items that you want, right? It's kind of like a bit of a
Some do.
Oh, some do,
So
okay.
only some of the boxes are blind boxes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there's some of those. Then after that, what you do is what you're looking for is like manufacturing defects, right? Which is that maybe some of the manufacturer in Vietnam, they put just a little bit more plastic. There's like another like 30 grams more plastic within it, and then just that gives me the additional weight needed.
I don't think they measure by 30 grams. I think they measure by 0.
Okay. Yeah, like
Zero,
three,
yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
Down to the 0 point. Yes.
Yeah. So this sports, right? This Beyblade thing, not only has it.
Is it a sports yet? Is it a sports yet?
Oh, is it a sport?
Is it not a game?
It is a game. I mean, well, but there are plans, I've heard, to make it into an official sport, like an Olympics, actually. My friend just sent me that like last week, and I was very shocked as well.
Olympics.
Olympics, yes.
Wow.
Okay, if golf can be as an official sports, I think Beyblade shouldn't be an issue, lah.
Isn't that controversial?
So
I don't care. Like the golfers can come after me, swing their golf clubs at me. That's fine. Okay, I'm gonna send my weight max Beyblade at them, zoom, okay, and then they're gonna crash into their ankles and then they're just gonna collapse, alright?
Yeah, they're finished.
So what is this game actually called in? I know there's Extreme something something.
What, this game? Which game are you talking about? This one?
Beyblade. Is it Extreme Gear Sports, right?
Extreme Gear Sports. Yeah, oh my gosh. Yeah, I remember now. Extreme Gear Sports. Basically, like, it's inspired by the series that's out. So what they're trying to do now, instead of a fantasy-based series, they want to make it more in realism. So it's called a sports anime, and probably they do want to do the real life thing as a sports thing as well.
Wow.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe if, let's say, for example, right, I'm a newbie, I'm a boomer, I don't know anything about any of this. Like, what would be the one advice that you could give me to help me kickstart my potential extreme gear sports career? Like, I want to be the very best that no one ever was.
The very best? Oh.
How do I start off? How do I kick off my career?
How? Okay, you have a bag of cash, and then you find a
Hold on. Is this pay to win?
pay to win. I wouldn't say so, honestly. If you have balls of steel, like some people, they are just built different. So for my advice, like how I started, you get a bunch of friends who are interested in the thing, and then after that, you can start to go to a store together, or you can exchange base yourself, buy it. You go by what you feel is best looking, honestly. You don't have to think about meta and worry about all that first. Like, you choose a bay that looks amazing to you, and then you can slowly build up your collection, and then you can slowly learn how to play.
That's how I pitch Warhammer to people as well.
Absolutely.
If you don't know how to start, just choose the nicest aesthetic and start.
Yeah, it really is.
Someone is asking color maxing where? Is that a real thing, Wendy?
It's a joke. I mean, no. Maybe some people do it. Like, looks maxing, color maxing, same.
So can you paint your Beyblade?
Can you?
Because about color maxing. So color mixing or color maxing?
Color maxing.
Yeah.
Painting Beyblades. Well, I mean, it's not opposed to it. There's a lot of like Instagrams where people actually paint their own Beyblades. But if you want to bring it to an official tournament, no, it's not recommended. You cannot mark your base.
All right. Okay. Do we have any last things that we want to talk about?
I see these things here.
These things.
Yeah.
What are these?
These? Okay.
This
So
doesn't look like the normal launcher that I have 15 years ago.
was it different? It was, right? Well, okay. So yeah, they're called launchers. There's like two different kinds right now. The ripcord, and this is the grip for you to be swag. And this one is so string launcher, it really depends on your style as well. The more beginner friendly one would be the ripcord that I recommend. I mean, I like it. I like it without the grip as well. It applies more strength. And string launchers are usually for people to maneuver more easily and not let your enemy read your cue, basically.
Hang on, what do you mean by read your cue?
What on earth?
What is that?
Yes, because it's a competitive scene as well. You have to worry about every little thing sometimes. Like, you want the prize, right? Yeah?
Yes.
You want the prize? Okay.
I want to be the very best.
You want to be the very best? Exactly. So some people also have that mindset. And so they make sure that they choose and master the string, for example, where enemies cannot read your cues. And then they wouldn't know how to counter you, and you'll probably be the very best.
So it's not only just pulling the ripcord and just spinning the blade. You have what?
Mind games, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Someone mentioned and shout your special move. So if you shout your special move, then the mind game's not needed. I already know what you're gonna do next.
The special move is always very vague.
You can always shout your special move and do something different.
Exactly. You see?
So the special move need to be some really weird esoteric name that doesn't signal or doesn't broadcast your intent like that.
The answer is Delulu, man.
All right. Okay. I think we're good on the Beyblade topic.
Yeah.
Do we have anything else we wish to add?
The tournament scene. So how do we get into the tournament? How do we play a tournament?
Okay, so when it comes to official tournaments, there will be announcements on your Facebook page or like the Instagram official, and then after that you can just apply for free actually. But there is a balloting system. You have to queue.
wow, like HDB. You
Is
have
it
to
Like
because
HDB.
is it because there's just overwhelming number of people that's just trying to get into the tournament scene?
Yeah, surprisingly, like because you wouldn't think that Beyblade X has so many people, but there is.
Yeah, that was one of the most surprising fact for me as well. Like when I heard how many people are in the current
Actively
scene,
playing, right?
actively playing.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm exaggerating when I say they are probably the largest gaming groups now in Singapore. I think even
I think
surpassing.
comparable to 40K.
I think
Really?
even larger than 40K.
Yeah, maybe so.
possible larger than 40K.
Maybe 300 to 800 people.
Okay, that's definitely
that-
larger than 40K.
Yeah. I mean that's
Oh
a big
gosh.
range, depending on which part of the range you are. And 40K is like what, about 400. If you really drag people out of their houses and
Yeah.
like you know you maybe about 400.
I would say
of them.
300 to 400
Yeah, yeah.
around there.
Dang. Okay. Oh my
Alright.
goodness, that's a lot of
Wow,
people.
bigger than 40K, yo.
Oh man.
Yeah, the 40K people, you all need to up your game, man. You all need to go and splurge your money and go and like start spending.
Invitation to all Beybladers, join
So-
40K.
So I understand there's a tournament deck. It's like, wow, it's like magic. What? There's a deck to it.
Oh,
So how do you
magic.
go about building your deck?
Building a deck? So the game style is you need to play 3-on-3. So like you take 3 of your combinations and then you play against your enemy. So how you build it is basically you take your blade of choice. If say I want to be an attack player, I'll take like maybe like a Phoenix Wing. It's very good. And add it together with a stable and very flat ratchet. And then also a very aggressive bit. So for example, like this is considered aggressive. It's called flat. So the gears on the side as well, because of these, they can ride around the extreme line and smack your opponent right out like that.
Right the line. Wow.
Right the line. Yeah.
That's so crazy.
It's crazy? Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I mean
crazy.
to me it's like for someone who hasn't seen it, you know, like for 15, 20 years, to me this is so beyond my imagination, because when like no joke, the last time I heard Beyblade really was in my secondary school days.
Oh.
And I'm cracking 40, so I mean I don't know, like, you know.
That's 20 years ago, yo.
That's 20 years ago. Yeah,
Shock.
my goodness.
So you have to bring 3 Beyblades, and all the parts I heard have to be unique. That you cannot have repeat parts in the
Yes.
tournament deck, correct?
That's correct. So they all have to be unique. No repeated blade. Even if the color is different, no, it doesn't apply. It's just the name. It's like
Yeah.
So the color maxing doesn't
Color
take into
maxing?
account.
color mixing can be taken into account. There's so many different colors for everything right now. But that's a separate thing.
Yeah, so you get 3 parts in a Beyblade box. You get the bay itself, the ratchet, and the what's the last part called? The beat.
bit. Yeah.
And then you can mix and match your Beyblades as you buy
Yeah.
the boxes
It's
along
very
the way.
simple. So like you can just twist, and then after that it comes out. You can twist it back, and then it goes in like that.
Yeah.
Ta-da!
And then you start building your deck. It's like building your list for a war game, for a 40K game. You have to build your list. You're building a deck for your Beyblade tournament. Wow.
Yes. This is your strategy. This is your fight. This is your army.
And so I heard that there's regional tournaments going on. Yeah.
Regional tournaments.
So-
yeah.
So HammerHouse is applying to be a official store for Beyblade, and we have to run official they call it G3 tournaments in the store. It'll be free. Like Wendy say, you have to ballot to participate. So there's G3, then there's G2, and then there's G1. So I heard. So what is the difference between this tournament G3 to G1?
First of all, I think the difference is in size and also difficulty, I would say. So like the G3 is the one that occurs much more often in Singapore as well. There's probably other countries where you just have they have a challenge basically where you versus multiple opponents and try to get the first. Maybe standard, from what I remember, maybe 3 to 4 rounds like that. There's a kid slot and there's an adult slot now, which are very defined.
So kids slot is up to what age?
Oh, up to what age? If I remember correctly, they at least have to be 7 and it ends at 12? Something like that.
According to the chat, there's a G2 tournament today.
Oh, yes.
Oh, really?
Today.
Yeah, so they are saying all the best to the G2 players. And yeah, all the
Yes.
best to them. Yeah.
All the best.
May your Beyblade spin fastest. I don't know. I don't know, I
Yeah.
don't know what to wish you, but just win, okay? Just get the championship.
You'll get it eventually. Yeah, so in regards to that, G2 is a bit more bigger size, and then also the single elimination format, I think so. Is that? Yeah, single elimination. And G1 is even the grandest one, where they have a lot of promotional stuff like standees, stage, MCs. It'll be held in a big mall and everyone will watch you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Interesting. I just gotta say that.
I mean,
It,
Mind
it,
blown.
it definitely is like a brand new experience for me to see all this firsthand unfolding, and
yeah.
for the first time in I don't know how many years, and suddenly something from my childhood being brought back to life, and
A resurgence.
yeah, and apparently it's like bigger than ever, bigger than anything that I've ever seen, and it's just all done under my nose. I've been in the gaming community for
Under your nose.
yoinks, and then after that, I've never even heard of the Beyblade thing, like coming back until very, very recently. So good job, Beybladers, okay?
Yes.
Bring glory to Singapore.
Oh.
Okay, go overseas and stomp on some of these like regional players, alright? You gotta go and make sure that we are represented. Okay?
Oh yeah, speaking of which, actually, yeah, we recently had one in KL, I think. It was
Regional tournament?
Regional,
Or
no.
qualifier?
qualifiers. No, qualifiers have been finished already. We recently had that maybe a few months ago in Singapore. And then he made it to be flown right over to Malaysia, where they have this SEA, like Singapore, Thailand, Malaysia, all this competing for the top. So our Singaporean here, his name's Kazu, he got second place and he got a trophy as well. It's kind of awesome.
Wow.
Yeah,
So you say it's flown in? Is it
flown in, yes.
paid for?
Yes, that's what I heard,
Wow.
apparently. So it's very cool. Like, it's something that most Beybladers want to reach for. It's very amazing, yes.
All right. Speaking of tournament qualifiers, that's like the second topic of our day. Of course, like Wendy, sorry, do you have any last thing you want to say regarding like Beyblade?
Regarding this,
Yeah.
I mean, just join, have fun, don't worry too much. There's a community for you, and we'll be waiting for you. That's all.
Yeah. So, yep, you can always pick up Beyblade at Hammer House. I think you guys are stocking it
Yes,
up already.
it's
Yep.
in stock already.
So, yep, just come down to 23 Temple Street and
24 Temple Street.
24 blah blah blah. Sorry, 24 Temples. That's close enough. One. you'll see the blue color thing, and then it's just like Hammer House. Okay, it's very obvious where is it. Okay. Yeah, tournament qualifiers. This one is also very integral to us gamers, especially for a lot of us when we started to play a little bit more competitively. And firstly, of course, to join local tournaments. Then after that, there might be some regional tournaments. There might be even some grand tournament organized by the developers of the game, so on and so forth. And this is the part, right, where there usually is some sort of controversy going on.
Always
Yeah, there's like
drama.
basically some sort of drama. People are just not happy with certain aspects of like how the tournaments are run. And I think when we were discussing about this topic, I think Wendy, you were also talking about like how in the cosplay scene, something like this does happen as well when, drama happens at like the tournament scenes, right, or the competitive scenes.
Yeah, it's very common that, as usual, humans are very competitive, and so it can breed a lot of contempt in the community as well. I mean, yeah, in the cosplay scene, there's like you want to hear about it now, or
Actually, I did a little bit of research on this. Then after that, I realized, right, that the cosplay scene, right, can be broadly categorized into two camps. One is like the purist camp, which is you have to do everything by hand. Like top to toe, you got to stitch everything, you got to do your own stuff. And then there's like
Can you 3D print?
3D print? Yes.
Yeah, I think you can. Yeah.
Of course.
So
The purist one can 3D print also.
I think
Okay.
I think the spirit of it is that you execute stuff by hand and not just purchase it from somebody else or have someone else do it for you. I think that's like from what I understand now, the spirit of it.
Okay.
Yeah. Am I right in that categorization?
Yeah, well, in that regard, if you're talking black and white, then yeah, definitely there will be purists and there will be like people who are just in for chill, in that regard, yes, correct. They have to make their own 3D modeling, like you said, 3D printing. They model it from scratch themselves. Sew their own outfits. Some people take a lot of pride in that. And so there's like some things like competitions that people like to go to showcase their talent as well. Meanwhile, there's a recent resurgence of new cosplayers coming in. Like I've been in it for 10 years and I've seen many generations. And with time that comes on, like you can see people's culture around it has changed, where now people just relax, buy their own cosplays. And since shops nowadays like Taobao, Doki Doki, everything online, you can just buy and it's very high quality. You don't really have to think about being like DIY.
So the other group is just to buy their cosplay items and then just cosplay in it.
Yeah, that's all. Like they are just pure hobbyists, just like me. I mean, you can consider me as that. Yeah.
And then there's like the controversy in the cosplay, the competition wherein you were saying some. I mean, maybe you'd like to elaborate a little bit more about.
About that. Oh yeah, sure. Okay, so from what I heard recently, it's not just in Singapore, but it happened a lot, maybe in America or other SEA countries. There is this organizing team or something. I don't want to pinpoint anything, of course. Drama free, guys. But like there's a cosplay competition where you have a panel of judges, and these judges are the same throughout every year. And it's for the same events where these judges allegedly not very experienced in cosplay themselves. I wouldn't say all of them, maybe some of them from what I've heard. And so they come up to judge all these cosplayers who actually put in their own like DIY effort. Like I wouldn't call them purists just because they DIY. It's just they're very passionate. So they come up against those people who just like want to join for fun and buy their own cosplay and do minimal work on it. I mean, there's really nothing too wrong about all that, right? It's fair game. Like you can have the buyers and then you can have the DIY. But you know what I'm thinking? I think we should have like a separate category and like a separate like winning like judgment on like what people can get. Like for example, you should have the DIY ones on one side and you can have the buyer ones on one side. Maybe like a catwalk, you know, that kind of thing instead.
Nice.
But like the controversy like really just surrounds the fact that these buyers, some of them actually win like the competition versus people who actually put effort into.
Okay, I can see where the saltiness will come from.
Yeah. Like in regards to a lot of all this like tournament scene or competitive scene, when it comes to so-called categorization, right, is when people start to get really riled up one way or the other. Like the number of people that can qualify like a per category also is can be controversial. So the story that I often reference is when I was playing in the Warhammer Fantasy European Tournament Championship. So we had to go to Europe to compete, right? It was a team of 8. Singapore, no issue, right? We are a very small community. The number of players is very limited. So we generally can agree on like who are the top 8 that we can send over. But in places like, for example, the US, the United States, when they send their team over to Europe, so how the council, how they decide who is the 8 people who compete are the people who competed last year. So if you compete last year, the year before, then you get to select the 8 people.
Oh.
So
I heard that.
This created a lot of issue in the US side when they are quite big. And then after that, so the initial thing was they wanted the East Coast and West Coast US. So like creating new categories, right? But then that's where the people who held on to the position last year, so they became a bit like, no way, hang on. We cultivated this European tournament scene from the start. You guys were not even interested. Now suddenly we made something happen already. Then now you want East Coast, West Coast. It's like, that I think like it's fair game in a way. Like everyone have their own opinions about things.
Yep.
Yeah, but then things get really hairy in terms of like qualifiers and tournaments and all these sort of things.
Yeah.
Do you have any like tournament stories that you can share with us, Johan?
I've never been to any really, really big overseas tournament, so never have to qualify for anything. I just pay and I go. So, but whenever there's tournament, right, there's always people who are salty in terms of whether they get selected or not as the team, especially team tournaments. You know, oh, it's like how come you select this guy and I'm not me? I'm definitely better than he is. Are you? Are you really?
I mean, for that, right? Like the who is better and all that. Sometimes it's also about other qualities, like how much of a sportsman you are. Sometimes it's not about how good of a player you are. Sometimes it's about how good of a because you are representing your country, ma.
Yeah, you don't go there and you throw face, right? You have to go there. You have to be a good sportsman. If you go there with attitude to win at all costs and don't care about the image of the country, then I think that's wrong. Yeah.
I have a question.
Jisuri asks, what about those who buy and modify / create themselves? I think this is regarding the cosplay.
Regarding the cosplay, I mean, absolutely, there's nothing wrong with that, to be honest. Like, the discourse is surrounding the fact that sometimes people who just don't put much modifications or effort into the cosplay can win as well, like multiple times by the same judges, the same outfit.
So mainly the issue is if you put in at least some amount of work to modify, I think people will just be like, okay, at least
there's nothing wrong.
You've done something.
Like, I have to be honest, like honestly, like really, it's a big community, right? People can do whatever they want. It's still cosplay. It's fun. It's games. And like, you can not modify, you can just wear straight out from the back and you'll still be okay, honestly. Yeah.
Yep. Tournaments can be quite hairy. People, they want to win something, right? They do it for honor, for glory. And then they will feel cheated if the victory was stolen from them because of one criteria or the other. I think there's also something to be said about what are the criteria necessary in order for you to compete or for you to win. And this is the part where things become a bit like
very grey.
Yeah, it's super grey and just difficult to manage, I would say.
Yeah, that's very true.
You're going got anything else you want to add about this topic?
I mean, to add on, maybe I'm like curious, like, does charisma count, like, in being a winner or something?
Maybe for the cosplay side, I don't know if that. But I mean, okay, you look at us gamers, we're all sweaty, bulbous creatures, So, not all of us exudes charisma, I mean, how many charismatic gamers do you know, Johan?
Wow. I couldn't count, man. Not
There's a lot.
Not sure. Yeah.
I don't know if Beybladers got like charismatic Beybladers. I don't know if that would.
I mean, do people cosplay to Beyblade?
Oh yes, they do, to competitions as well.
Really?
Yeah, it's very cool as the characters from
to be
the
honest,
show.
I went to Vivo City like maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, and then there was I think it's a G2 tournament held there at the Toys R Us, and I saw this guy in full black combat armor, I would say, and then he has a black mask over his head. My wife was asking me, what, he's scared the Beyblade hit his face, is it?
No, shout out to his style, honestly. I've seen him around, he's very cool.
Oh, okay.
So he's been around.
Yeah, he has.
Meteor Storm mentions, I think really on the organizer side, also some of them just want to make money or advertise stuff. They use the tournament or tourney as a platform and not put effort into it. Actually, that's a very good point also, because the organizers themselves also must be knowledgeable, must be experts, right? At the very least, they have to know and understand the community, right? It cannot just be, let's just try and leverage the community, like we are just trying to milk something from them and get something from them. Yeah, so that's also like a good point.
Yeah. So that one I can add a bit because I organize events, but I'm not very fluent with all game systems. So sometimes I need to engage in other people's expertise to TO the tournament for me. So that's
but that's effort put in.
Yeah.
Right. That's you trying to be like, okay, I want to understand the other side. I'm not doing this so that I just get people to pay and milk them for all their worth. I want people to have fun, to feel like they are entering a fair competition. Then therefore you put in the effort and say, hey, look, I need someone who is an expert.
Yes.
I bring them on board, and then after that, we run the tournament that way.
Yeah, I think organizers doesn't have to be TO themselves. They can look into the expertise of other people to get them to TO for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Alrighty. All right, so we have 2 more topics for the rest of this episode. We're gonna jump into the next one now. Okay.
The interesting one.
This one really boils my blood. I don't know about you guys, but man, every time I read about it, I just feel like really. Even though I'm not a 40K person, but out of all the Game Workshop properties, right, 40K is my favorite story. Yeah,
yes, everybody like the law a lot.
Correct. Yeah, the 40K stories is like to me the most mature, the most adult, the most like gritty and real, to the point where it's almost like a parody of our own reality. You look at some of the stuff that's happening around the world locally, in political scenes, you can't help but feel like, hey, this GW writers, they are quite prescient in their writing. Like it really reflects a lot, and I think this is like the magic of 40K. I mean, personally I'm a fantasy player, but the fantasy writing is always too comical for me. It's just very, very wacky. Conversely, the 40K lore is like very grounded, very gritty. Wendy, are you familiar at all with like the lore of like the 40K?
Oh, yes. Not very much, I would say. But I've played the Space Marine game, and I'm looking forward to the new one as well.
Space Marine 2.
And yes, Space Marine 2, they look awesome, and I love the hack and slash. But then at the same time, the board game itself, I recently just joined in, and I'm building my own army as well.
Nice.
Okay. Which army are you building?
I chose Necron, so it's my first one. It's a bit hard, but I love the lore, like honestly.
The undead guys.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're
Space
so mean.
undeads.
Terminators.
Space
Terminators.
zombies.
Space
Okay.
zombies.
Yeah. I mean, like personally, so when I mean, we all know Henry Cavill, right? The guy who played The Witcher.
Yeah.
One of us.
On the Netflix series. And then after that he soared to popularity. Then he came out as basically a giant nerd, and he is like very much in depth into the 40K lore, and he is such a huge 40K nerd, and he was very, very excited about creating a new
TV show?
Yeah, TV show for the at least the Warhammer 40K universe. Not maybe we don't actually know which particular story they are zoning in on yet. We don't know if it's a Space Marine story or an Inquisitor story or a Guardsman story. We don't know any of the details. But of course, Space Marine is the most integral part of the 40K lore. Right? There's almost no story that you can create without at least introducing some Astartes inside, right? Without introducing some amount of Space Marines inside.
Yeah, they're the poster boys of 40K.
Absolutely, yeah. So it comes as a shock, right? When Henry Cavill started to make noise on his social media, saying that Amazon, the studio that is helping him to create the 40K TV show, wants to include female Space Marines. So this one will be very controversial, and I want to make it very clear: it's nothing to do with like hating women or what. It's nothing to do with any of that. But I think there's something to be said about being faithful
to the law,
to
the canon,
to canon, to want to accurately express the story within it, and not have Hollywood executive like impose their own sense into it. Like, so Wendy as our resident female. So now you represent all women.
A resident female.
Yes.
I mean, I wouldn't I'm not gonna say that regarding that thing, I don't really have much thought on it besides the fact that if I were to create a series myself based on such a grimdark lore, I like to follow the law as accurately as possible, honestly. Like introducing new elements that are unnecessary even when you already have Sisters of Battle, I think
good point. A very good point.
The Sisters of Battle, right? Actually, it's so interesting how they wrote the Sisters of Battle. Are you familiar? Are you familiar with the Sisters?
A little bit, yeah. I know
Unfortunately, I'm not.
Okay, I will give a brief primer on it. So like this is a grimdark reality, right? And So the Emperor of Humanity is dead. Then now they are worshipping the Emperor as a deity, which is contravening the original wishes of the Emperor. So they have this huge church that's built around worshipping the dead Emperor. And there was this rebellion that was fomented, right, as a result of this church. Okay, so they started to fight against the High Lords of Terra, and when they lost the war, the church they lost the war. Then the High Lords, right, they made the church leaders sign a contract. They say, okay, you may not have men under arms. Yeah, really, that's the law. It's like you cannot have in your organization, you may not have men bearing arms.
No men allowed.
No men.
So they give the
arms.
arms to women.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that was like the loophole. They think they're very clever. That was the loophole. But then eventually, right, the High Lords was just like, okay lah, you violated the spirit of the rule, but never mind. You have proven yourself to be such an effective fighting force, right, that we have no choice but to just acknowledge that this is where the Adepta Sororitas was born. So the original thing was that you can have no men under bearing arms. So they just, okay lah, here's a woman. We didn't violate.
Loophole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
that was and I thought that would have been made so much more interesting if you can somehow put it inside the television show. And by the way, the Sisters of Battles are, as far as I know, the only other group other than Space Marines and some Inquisitors that can wear power armor. Power armor is like
yes.
the peak, like one of the peak levels of technological advances lah. Normal soldier cannot wear power armor one. So only Space Marines, okay, which are the Custodes, right? Those are the Omega power level soldiers, like superhuman soldiers. But the Adepta Sororitas, right, the female army, they are just normal humans. They're just regular humans. They are not superhumans, okay? But they can wear power armor. So actually, this brings them like quite to an elevated status.
Yeah, they got
already.
swag.
In my mind. Yeah. So that the creators of this new television show, they want female Space Marines, right? Just to kind of like shoehorn it in, I thought was not a great idea lah. I think
Definitely not.
Yeah,
So
that
if you
was-
Google "Are there female Space Marines" on Google, right, every result will come out and tell you there are no.
Yes.
Genetically wise, it's not possible. They say. I'm not sure about the law. Yeah, but I think nowadays the TV shows they have to include at least one female, one dark skin character.
No, POC. Yeah.
Yeah, so yes, you can insert a female character, but it doesn't have to be a Space Marine. It can be a Battle Sisters. It can be a Guardsman.
Yeah.
If you play Space Marine, the original game, that's
So one of the chatters here, Delegration, you can find great female characters in the Sisters of Battle, Eldars, Guardsmen, Assassins, etc.
yeah, exactly.
I mean,
Inquisitors as well.
yeah, there's just so many for them to choose from.
Yeah, more
There's
than
not
enough.
really necessary to be like, oh yeah, let's just make a female Space Marines.
Yeah.
And so you thought this is the end of the story? No. I'm sorry, no. This is not the end of the story.
What?
This is not
What more
this
do
is
you
not
want?
ultimately what made my blood boil. Okay.
Okay.
So I would like to first qualify by saying that I think Henry Cavill is the most unlucky actor ever on the face of the planet.
Oh
Like this
dear.
guy is just a bubble of bad luck. So he came out and then he started to criticize Amazon's direction when they want to include female Space Marines. So all of us deep in the law, right, we're just like, hey, yeah, we can just Google it and then, yeah, confirm plus chop inside the GW, all of the storybooks, not a single female Space Marine has ever been there. But then guess what? Guess what, broskies? Let me
What?
tell you, let me read out this tweet.
What happened,
on the
broski?
Warhammer official tweet. This was April 14 this year. Since the start of the 10,000, so these are the custodians, these are the before the Space Marines, so they are like Omega Space Marines, okay? Since the first of the 10,000 were created, there has always been female custodians.
Where?
So they just retcon. They just decided, you know what? We're just going to change the entire universe from this moment on. After Henry Cavill came out and criticized Amazon's take on it. So he really very loose face. He really
Yeah.
produces.
dear.
But I think it's really bad on the GW side. Sorry, GW, but you have a well-known celebrity that is backing your lore, backing your franchise. He wants to create something out of that IP, and then you kind of backstab him like that. I think it's very sad for him.
And you backstab the fan base.
Yes, correct. Exactly.
I think the fan
base.
base was very, very upset about this. Yeah. How do you feel about it? Or like now that you hear me talk about it, right, Wendy, how do you feel about all of this topic?
I can only think about how Cavill. Yeah, I feel bad for him because in The Witcher, I remember that he left the series as well because they changed the storyline of the book that he loved a lot. And to see this happen again to him is just a bit like, bummer.
He really,
They're very unlucky dude.
he really is just one of the most unlucky. Like this guy, he's just trying to fight for the fans. He just want to give the fans what they want. And then the Hollywood people are just like, hey, guess what? Here's another idea. Alright?
Oh man.
Here's something else. You don't like it? There's the door. All right.
Yeah.
Please, we will replace you with Liam Hemsworth. Okay.
Oh my God.
Equally, a actor of equal caliber to you. Okay. Henry Cavill will be Liam not the popular Hemsworth. Not the handsome Hemsworth. Okay. It is in fact the younger brother of the more popular, more handsome Hemsworth brother.
Why?
Hemsworth. I also don't know lah.
Oh man.
It just boggles my mind so much that this is the way that they decided to execute all these films. They decided to produce it. Just blows my mind.
So, I mean, if you look at Fallout recently, do you watch the show Fallout?
I haven't watched it. No.
Okay,
Yeah.
it is fantastic. Have you watched the show
I
Fallout?
heard that
I
it's
have
like really
not.
good.
Yeah, so
I've seen the
they
game.
so I play the game Fallout and I watched the show and I really love it. They follow the law as much as possible and they finally give us a look on how the world got nuked. So it's a very good show and they follow everything. They have a dark skin character, they have a female lead, they have a male lead, and there's no need to change too much from the game. Yeah, so I don't understand why GW or Amazon has to do this.
Yeah, I mean, there's something to be said. Like, I heard about the Fallout TV show, and you're right, like basically like they have all these like check boxes, right? But the check boxes themselves, they are not like integral to the essence of the show. Like what makes the show ultimately good is good writing. I heard that even the female lead, she's not like a superhuman. Everything gets everything right the first time. She has to go through a journey.
Yes.
She needs to learn stuff. Then she was a vault dweller, then go up to the surface and have to learn things from scratch. Basically making mistakes, learning from it, developing her character. And this is what we want from TV shows, right? We want to have the humanizing experience. We want to support the main character because they are struggling.
Yes.
Right? And then at the end of it, they learn something, they come out on the other side of the struggle better than before. And this is what we want.
Yeah.
Right? Not just women good,
Yes.
men bad.
I want to root for authentic characters who are strong in their own right, not the fact that woman over man or man over woman.
So we have Delegation again. It's so weird to have to retcon stuff just because it's just discount all the great female characters that are already established. 100%.
Yes.
So okay, then we have, if can have female space marines, they can have Misters of Battle.
Misters of Battle. Yeah.
Meteor Storm, yes.
Meteors.
We should have the Misters of. We should just retcon the church, right? The Ecclesiastes, the contract, right?
Oh.
No men bearing arms. Like, no.
No,
Just have them
nuke
bearing
him.
arms. Yeah.
Nuke him.
Just Misters of Battle. Let's go. Shahu says it's all about the long game. Making Amazon happy is more profitable than making Superman happy. Oh.
Wow.
Yeah, so Superman is the other thing, right? He
Yeah.
cannot act so unceremoniously
Oh no.
from the
I
DCU.
forgot about that.
Yeah, it's just so
Yeah, they even put a cameo of him in the what's the
that rock
The Rock
movie.
show?
Yeah.
Black Adam?
Black
Yes.
Adam, yeah. Okay, so Delegation again spends all his AP on that one jackpad move. Is this something to do with the
I
Fallout?
have no idea, man.
Oh, okay.
I think so.
Vault Dweller are useless in the actual Fallout world when they first start. Yeah, I mean that's basically true. And it makes for great story material. Yeah. So Jisuri says good characters are good for real. Well,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
for
I
real.
can't
Yeah,
argue against that.
So here's hoping that Amazon will just keep Cavill on and scrap the stupid female space marine thing. But I think that's not going to happen.
It probably is not going to happen.
Yeah.
There's a lot of signs pointing that Henry Cavill has already exited from the show already, but haven't announced anything. I think
It's
they're
all still rumors yet.
yeah, I think maybe they're still trying to have closed door meetings, behind the scenes stuff and try to salvage whatever that is salvageable. But hard to say. Okay.
But here's a question. Would you rather Henry Cavill leave or would you Henry Cavill stay on and do what Amazon wants?
Wendy, do you have any thoughts about that?
So difficult. I mean, he's obviously not gonna have the passion the same way if he just wants to please Amazon, I mean, he probably is a very passionate person. And I'm happy if he leaves. If he feels happy leaving, then yeah, whatever, man. Honestly.
How about you, John?
I think I agree with Wendy. I think building up goodwill is a bit more important than getting paychecks at this for him lah. I think he's already sufficiently wealthy. It's not necessary for him to get that extra $30 million or whatever. So, if he is truly as passionate as he markets himself to be, which I'm tending to believe now lah. Okay, things might change in the future, but I tend to believe it now. If that's the case, exit the show, continue to build the goodwill of the people, and hope that at some point in the future things will change enough that he can make the show that he wants to make. And I think that's
agree.
because things are always getting reboot, getting remade, reshoots. That
so
stuff is
many.
always. If he participates in a terrible 40K world or TV show, I think it will just eliminate almost all of the goodwill that is being built up for him.
I agree.
If he wants to do something in the future, then it's over. It's game over. We're not going to believe him anymore. And
Yes.
So Henry Cavill, I will forever 支持 you. Okay, I will forever support you. If you stay true, okay, leave the show. It's fine. Then after that, find another studio that's willing to recreate the vision that you imagine it.
And I guess on that, we are all three of us here on the same page. I also support Henry Cavill leaving the show if that's what Amazon wants in that.
Yeah.
Kaito Yuryu says we need mega level nerds to rise up as directors. Only then things will change. I don't know, man. I
don't think it's the directors, I think
it's the producers. That's one thing. Yeah. A lot of the executive producers, they have overwhelmingly more power on the set. The director just kind of chooses the creative what do you call it, capture, right? They're just more about the capturing
the
of
on-screen thing.
the on-screen stuff. But the behind the stuff, the stuff that is okay, we want to have female space marine, whatever. All these are executive producer level stuff already.
Yeah.
And then we have Silent Seal. 100% agree to that sentiment. I guess that's for all of us. Meteor Storm, money speaks. Delegation. Henry Cavill should definitely just exit if the project if creative vision cannot align. But I do applaud people like him who really fights for his principles vision. We need stronger spearhead. Yep. And then Shahu, yes, he should leave. We don't know what else Amazon is butchering. Yeah, that's also true.
Yes.
Right. There's gonna be female orcs.
Oh no!
There's the whole point of the orcs is that they are a single gender species because they are not actually a dimorphic species.
Yes.
Yeah, so they don't need to have male and female to reproduce.
What's your gender? Orc.
Yes. No, you know what's the gender of an orc? Fungus.
Yeah.
So it's actually portrayed in I think the Two Towers where who's that guy in the tower who's producing orcs? They literally drop out of the tree bark.
Yes. So yeah, in fact, the orc, right, is you kill them, right, then their body will just disperse the spores.
Make new one.
New
yeah.
orcs. Yeah.
Where's my fungus representation?
Yeah, there's the fungus gender. Okay? They are the Jusuri. They are fungi. Yes, they are very fun guys. Okay? They are very fun guys. Yeah, we just hope that we get the 40K movie, TV show that we deserve, that we the fans deserve, and Amazon get your sticky little greedy fingers out of our property. All right, get out of there. Get out of there. Okay. We are rounding up to the hour already. All right. We will just now talk about some of the upcoming events and tournaments that will be happening at Hammer House.
Yep.
This one, I'll hand it over to you, Johan.
Yeah. So, first and foremost, Beyblade. We will be having a launch party on 5th August, Monday, 7:30. 7 p.m. to 7:30 onwards. Yep. So if you are interested in Beyblade, drop by, take a look.
So 5th August, that will be the next Monday, right? Not this coming Monday. It will be next Monday. From the live audience that's seeing it now. So 5th August will be happening on a Monday at 7:30.
7 p.m.
7 p.m.
Yes, at Hammer House.
At Hammer House.
Yep. So we will be hosting some local tournaments, community tournaments where people will come and play. And if you are interested, drop by, check it out. We have demo sets on the first floor where you can try your hands on Beyblade, right? Then the next one, we have our Game Fest happening in October. So, have you been to Game Fest, John?
Actually, no. I don't think so.
Don't worry.
But now I'm very excited about it. Tell me more, Johan.
Yeah. So, Game Fest is what Hammer House will host every year. So, we have our first one last year in December. So this time we'll host it in October because December everybody is flying off.
I know why I didn't go, because I was in Taiwan. I was on holiday. So
so we shift our schedule to make it more the schedule is easier for everybody who's not flying off for holidays in December. So it will happen on 26 and 27 October. Is over the weekend, Saturday and Sundays. We have multiple system running across. So we have 40K, AOS, Age of Sigmar, we have Kings of War, Infinity. Beyblade is going to be there as well. I'm going to talk to the Beyblade distributor and see whether they want to run a big tournament there as well. What else? We have Kill Team. Yeah, so we rented a space, the exhibition hall at Crater Ire Community Center. So that's a big space there, air conditioned. You can also block out the space so we can lower down the noise volume for certain systems. So over the weekend, we'll be running different tournaments there. Like I say, 40K, Age of Sigmar. So if you are interested, follow us on Facebook or Instagram. That's where the details will be going up, and you can buy the tickets online very soon. Yep. And then that's the big one in October. So for the monthly event, we have a monthly schedule of events. So we are in July now. Yes. We are going into August. So what's going to happen in August is we are going to have the Age of Sigmar 4.0 tournament. It's a new edition. So whoever is interested in Age of Sigmar is a new edition. Good time for you to jump on. So that will be happening on 11th of August. And then we have the Spearhead, which is a smaller game of Age of Sigmar, entry level, which will happen on 25th August. Yep. And then lastly, we will kick off our Bloodbowl autumn season in August.
Oh, Bloodbowl.
Yes. So we run Bloodbowl twice every year. So we have the spring season, we have the autumn season. So this time we are kicking off the autumn season, which will last for 2 months, from August to October. And just nice, we can coincide with the Game Fest where I will run the finale at Game Fest.
The only race that is like viable the only real race in Blood Bowl is the Orcs. Okay, it's just the Orcs. I just want to bash people and then yeet a little pipsqueak over the other players and get it over the finish line. Okay, that's all I want to do.
If you can do that, wow.
Okay. One of our chatters is asking, Wendy, are you dressed up as Gojo?
Oh my, no, I'm not. I get it a lot though. Domain expansion. Nah.
Okay. Well, to find out what Wendy is actually dressed up as, you need to go to AFA and then
yes, you'll see. It's
and then see what happens.
Spicy.
If you were dressed up as Gojo, I already have a don't get cut in half joke, but oh well.
I'll get pieced back together.
Okay.
Is there anything you want to shout out to,
Yeah,
Wendy?
maybe Wendy, you can have some shout out or let us know let the audience know where they can find you.
Oh yes, no, not really. Shout out to all my friends. Love you all, and thanks for tuning in today. And please come to our big grand event on Monday, 5th August. Again, Beyblade with me. Let's go.
Let's go!
Let's go.
So Delegration asks, where is that code from? Looks good.
Thrifted it.
Thrifted.
Yes.
It's the thrift store, guys.
Italian.
That's where you get the best cosplay. That's what I heard.
You want to see a 360?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
All right, yeah, man. Woo! Yes, I'm very proud of my outfit.
All right. Thank you so much, Wendy, for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
And with that shall be the end of today's HammerCast. Thank you all very much for joining in, for tuning in and listening to us. All the information regarding like our upcoming tournament days, whatever, we will link it in some description down there.
Yep.
We will also link Wendy's wonderful Instagram page. Feel free to check it out.
Thank you.
And then, with that, that's all. Please, we shall see you next time and have a good one.
Thank you. Bye.